a statesman's pole position, that one, Jacques.
It was a beautiful lap, controlled. The car never moved, really on the edge. He knew exactly where he was wanting to put the car, did everything he wanted. And he also knows he has the best pace for the race tomorrow. All he has to do is survive that first corner.
I mean, in terms of context for the championship, what a session that was.
Couldn't have been much stronger. I think that's the most dominant we've seen Lando ever. Against someone like Oscar all season, it's always been the two of them. Here, I think he's put a gap on the field, but also his teammates. So championship-wise, it couldn't have been much better. I think it's what we kind of wanted him to do maybe at Baku, when Oscar made the mistake and he didn't really capitalise on that. Now he knows Oscar's not on form this weekend, so he's making the difference and he's making sure that he's putting those cars in between him.
Let's take ourselves back and just reflect on this championship as a whole. And when you think about it, he had the lead, didn't he, up until Saudi, Lando, and then kind of a litany of errors as we approach the summer break, and everyone's questioning his mentality, questioning his psyche, questioning whether, you know, in either wheel-to-wheel combat or up against faster drivers on a Saturday, can he cut it? And then all of a sudden, now the shoe's on the same, on the other foot. It's Formula One for you, isn't it? A kind of microcosm of everything that happens with pressure.
He's shown he's capable of bouncing back and come back stronger. A mistake, you know, take a slap, and he's very vocal about it. And I think that helps him because then he can digest it, he can analyze it, and there's, okay, why did I make a mistake there? Then comes back stronger every time.
Yeah, and well, that's the mark of a great sportsman, isn't it? I mean, it's about not wilting when the chips are down, and he stayed within sight of Oscar.
Definitely. I think obviously you don't want to get too carried away at this point and kind of sort of say too much one side or the other, but at the same time, I think we always talk about their different approaches. You've got three drivers fighting for a championship, three very different drivers, very different kind of approaches to going racing, but it doesn't mean there's one right or wrong. And I think Lando's really let into himself. He's worked out what's working well for him. I think his little comment, the less I know, the better, is, I think, alludes to that. I think he doesn't want loads of information. Just trust his instinct, go out, drive, be relaxed, be confident, and that's what he can do.
Yeah, it's all about patterns and analysing those. And at the moment, the pattern is on the upward trajectory for Lando, but it's not the case with his teammate. Let's hear from Oscar Piastri and also from Andrea Stella.
Hi, Oscar. I know you won't want to be in the position you're in. Can you tell us what difficulties you're having or how the feel is in the car right now for you?
I mean, it all feels okay. It's just no pace, which, yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. It's just been more or less the same gap all weekend. So, yeah, we'll have a look at where it was going wrong then. But, yeah, obviously a bit frustrating.
How has your feeling in the car changed compared to how it was earlier in the year?
Not a huge amount, to be honest. Just that this weekend and last weekend really, it just felt like the pace just hasn't come, and not 100% sure why yet. So we'll do some digging.
The long run to turn one tomorrow, is that going to be a benefit to you? Can you try and make some moves at the start tomorrow? It's got to be an opportunity.
I'll try my best. Yeah, that's going to be an opportunity to make some progress forwards, but we'll see what we can do.
Andrea, congratulations first of all, pole for Norris, obviously what you were trying to achieve there, but just talk us through that. Looked very, very strong in the high speed from what I could see through that lap.
Well, the lap is actually strong in pretty much every corner. Lando, if I'm not wrong, is first in every single sector. The car has behaved well at all corner speed. I think we had a few things that we need to, like regroup and understand coming from the last few races. I think we understand a little bit better how to use the car with the current package. The car is performing well and Lando maximized it. Yeah. I was just saying that obviously there's a little bit to review on Oscar's side. More difficult for him to use the car when the conditions are so sliding in a way like it was also in Austin. So something that we need to review and make sure that we improve for tomorrow.
Yeah, close to 6/10 between the drivers is not common for the year. Obviously not what Oscar would want. So again, that seemed to be lacking high speed. Is there anything that you can do for tomorrow with Oscar in that position?
Actually, like I said before, for Lando, Oscar in relation to Lando loses a little bit of a few milliseconds pretty much in every corner. So it's more him getting the right feeling with these conditions and pushing that little bit more in every single corner. But obviously here it's very difficult to go that little bit more without having an issue. So something definitely that we can work on and improve for tomorrow. I think the race pace is strong for both drivers. I'm sure Oscar will be able to recover some position. It's important for McLaren, it's important for his championship, so we look forward to it.
And then final question, just back on Lando, obviously saved a set of new soft through that session. Anything that you can look forward to in the race based on what happened with the Ferrari starting on a new soft last weekend?
Well, I think we have seen in Austin, we have seen here that the softer compound is actually a good race compound. Coming here, this wasn't obvious, but it became obvious through practice. I think all teams basically think that the soft and the medium tire are the right compounds. So yeah, I think it will be a race tire. Good to have a new one with Lando. I don't think there's a big difference, but good to have a new one with him.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess that silence speaks volumes.
What was odd, his comments about, I don't know why there's no pace. And
But in Austin, so this is it's not specific to high speed, to low speed. It seems to be everywhere.
No, and it's not like he's made one or two mistakes in the lap and he can go, right, that's exactly where the time is and I can go and rectify that. I think the whole weekend is what Oscar was saying, is he's been down on performance. To Lando, the deficit hasn't really changed, and that's frustrating for him because he'll feel like he's making improvements. If you took away, as Jack said, if you took away the lap time on his dash, you probably would have thought he was maybe top 2, top 3 if he knew that Lando is on pole. So that's a bit of a mind, that plays on your mind big time, and it's really difficult to kind of work out and pinpoint exactly where it is. So it's a challenge for him, it's going to be a challenge for him tomorrow. Be interesting to know what their debriefs are like as well.
It does feel like, well, if you think back, actually, a pertinent question, of course, from Bernie with regards to the softs and the medium. It looked like soft medium is the preferred strategy for tomorrow. So maybe for Lando at the front, there's no question he's going to start on the soft up against Charles. But I mean, does Oscar do something? Does he start on the medium? Does he go long? And
the medium didn't look like a good tire. In race pace, everybody was sliding with it, so it didn't look like a very usable tire in the race. It's very tough. The only tire that looks good is the soft.
It's difficult to engineer. I mean, that's it. It's just trying to engineer your way through a field. Yes, it does look like their pace is the race pace to beat, doesn't it? So at least, you know, you can take a comfort from that. It's just about overtaking opportunities here.
I was going to say track position is also quite critical.
Yeah.
After lap 1, even though you've got this long, massive straight, the effect of the toe isn't so significant. He's going to have to get his elbows out tomorrow, which I think is going to be quite exciting to watch. He's going to have to make some overtakes if their race pace is stronger. But at the moment, I honestly think what's great about Formula 1 at the moment is how competitive it is. What's not so great is because it's so competitive and so close, it's hard for them to actually make the difference in the race once qualifying has happened.
OK, well, last year we had a Ferrari on pole in the form of Carlos Sainz. He went on to win the race. It was 2 Ferraris on the podium and Lando Norris. And we've got 2 Ferraris and Lando Norris starting inside the top 3. We'll take a short break on the...
You must be very happy with that session, P2 and P3 on the grid tomorrow. What can you do from there?
To enjoy the quali first. I think it's important that it was a good session, probably overall the best session from the beginning of the season. Also on the top of this we were always there, Q1, Q2, Q3, and let's see tomorrow. We know that there is a long stint until turn 1, and okay, that's let's enjoy the quali first and we'll see for tomorrow.
Less than a tenth between the drivers, or just over a tenth between the drivers, must be very encouraging performance, like you say, for the car. Looked really strong in the high speed. Something changed or just more understanding?
No, I think that honestly that we had a pace was decent in the last couple of races, but we struggled to put everything together, and even in Austin that we had a tough start of the weekend and then good quali. I think this weekend from the beginning we are there, and it's much easier to do a good Q3 when you are there from FP1.
And then final question for me is, Leclerc obviously saved a tyre set, a new soft tyre set for the race. A repeat of last week on the cards, we can get a position off the line, or maybe not so much?
We are not the only one. Lando did the same.
Good comeback, as we said, between the sprint and qualifying in Austin, and now that.
But that seems to be a normal story at Ferrari. Look at last year. It was bad, then you had Monaco and Monza, so everything is great. It's like a roller coaster. Now we're at the top of the roller coaster. Let's see how long they keep it there. And they have nothing to lose. They don't care about finishing fourth, third, second. They need a win. That's the danger for Lando tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, when you're all three of those fighting for second, they're not struggling for cash, are they? It's about winning drivers' titles. But as I said, tomorrow, Lewis Hamilton, though, he will want to get that off his back. The fact that he's not got a podium yet in the red.
Yeah, you could tell in his interview afterwards, he's feeling the energy, he's feeling the excitement of that P3, and obviously he accepts that Charles got the better of him slightly there, but they've been really close recently, and I think there's a lot of positives to take from that, especially. And I think tomorrow, if they can work together, it is important that they're both up there for the championship, whether that's their priority or not. I think they need to score a lot of points tomorrow. Although their race pace, I think in comparison to the McLaren, might be a little bit of a struggle.
Jackie's pointed to a lot. They're not excuses. They're just factors, I think, from having our entire career with Mercedes power, then to moving into Ferrari power. He's talking about getting used to the engine braking, the change of brake materials. And all of these are these small factors that you think he's just taken him a while to get on top of. Because actually, if you liken his season to Carlos, who's gone the other way, they're kind of similar, aren't they?
It takes a while to get used to the differences in the cars, but any top drivers will adjust and adapt. I think what is more difficult is the environment. It's very different when, you work in an Italian team or a British team. It changes everything. I think that's taken a while. He's trying also to change the way everyone works more to his way, and we're starting to see the results.
I agree. I think it takes time. It's taken time. And also I think it's compounded by the fact Ferrari haven't been there every weekend. We've seen Charles struggle a lot of weekends, and when you're trying to learn a new environment and the car's not quite there, it makes it that much tougher. So what's great is when the car seems to be working in a better window, they're both able to get up there. And I think Charles himself is able to get that out of the one lap. And I think he was managing expectations yesterday and today put themselves up in the front row, which is awesome.
Okay, let's get into the other big story. Max Verstappen, who was chasing hard. The gap, as I said, 40 points at the start of the show between himself and Oscar Piastri, but 3 cars between himself and Lando Norris. Let's hear what he had to say over team radio and then in the pen.
Hi, Max. Can you tell us, you said on the radio, difficult day. Why has it been such a difficult day today?
Well, if we would know, we would change it. And unfortunately, we don't know. And we've tried so many things and it's just not been good. So, yeah, it's not the lack of trying. It's just not finding it. And, we went into qualifying, trying something again. And I think we didn't get it quite right in some corners where it made it maybe, well, in some places maybe a bit better, but then in some other areas more difficult. And that didn't allow me then to push. And, I knew already from Q1, the first run, that was not going to be it.
We saw this morning in FP3, you ran a different rear wing to Yuki for a bit as well to try that. In the past, when we've seen you do that, it's worked. So is it a real sort of head-scratching moment for the team? Because this track's been good for you in the past.
But if I do it, it's normally less swing compared to Yuki. Now, they wanted to try more. I said, okay, sure. That was also not the solution. So then we went back, which... I ran that already yesterday, so there's no real surprises with that. But yeah, basically everything we tried didn't really work.
What would be a good recovery drive tomorrow then for you, realistically?
I mean, there is no real recovery drive when you have no pace. I mean, I need people to retire in front of me to go ahead. So, every lap that I did this weekend has not been good. And that short run, long run, it never felt in the window. And that is not going to suddenly change tomorrow for the better.
All right, thanks, Max. Thank you.
That's a strong statement, isn't it? He's going to need people in front of him to retire. I don't know about you. I was quite looking forward to Max Verstappen having a car underneath him that could come charging through from fifth and threaten the leaders. But he has said all weekend, Jamie, that about the race pace, it's just not been there for him.
Yeah, he's been struggling. I mean, early on in the weekend, FP1, I think he was looking a little bit better. But yeah, he's not been there or thereabouts. I always think he's like that. And then he gets to Q3 and he finds and pulls a lap out. In this case, not. But I think what's interesting is there's a lot of tracks that they've struggled with historically, Singapore for one, and they've made this kind of change in something in the car and they've found performance there. But a track that I thought they went pretty well at previously, and Max especially goes well at, they're now struggling. So maybe there's too late now because they can't change the car, but maybe they do need to also find this compromise of where is this car actually working, put a finger on it, and then carry that into the rest of the season.
Well, it's the first time we hear Max not being positive. They've had lack of pace before, but they always managed to get into a window that he could work with, that he could be aggressive and bring the fight to the drivers ahead of him. And when you listen to him now, and already from yesterday, it doesn't sound like that. And it sounded like they just kept trying stuff on the car randomly, not because they had a direction, not because they thought, the car is wrong like this, let's move in this direction. They even went with more downforce, which is something he never ever tried. They changed the car setup for quali, and it sounds like they went the wrong way, and now he's stuck with it.
Yeah, it's just stalled him, hasn't it? He knew that he had to be perfect every weekend, and the team had to be perfect. And, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but hold on. All he needs is to be ahead of Piastri.
Yeah.
We still might get Norris leading the championship, but he might get less than 40 points behind the lead, which would still be a step forward.
Absolutely. But at the same time, he's still the one that's got to make up that deficit of 40 points. And really, on today's evidence, that wasn't the car, as he's just said, that is necessary to do that tomorrow to win the race. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up from here in Mexico City, and we'll hear from George Russell.
That must feel pretty good. I mean, the fans were incredible today, and then you put on a lap like that for them. How happy are you right now?
I'm so happy to be up there with up there in the top 3. I mean, it's been all years taking me to get here, so it's been a serious mountain to climb. But finally gelling with everything around me, and I think myself and my engineers, we've really started to extract the performance from the car. So I'm really, really happy. Honestly, it's been a tough year, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to get here, but it's okay. What matters is the journey, and I've grown a lot through it.
What about tomorrow then? What can you hope from the race tomorrow? There are so many elements in terms of that run to turn 1, in terms of the race pace, in terms of the battles that are going on around you. What would be good tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first, it's great to have 2 Ferrari drivers. It's pretty cool. I'm grateful to be there. Charles put in a good lap. It's been quick all weekend, and he's always quick in qualifying. I think for a moment I was like P2, and I think it'd be nice for that, but the inside is actually not that nice. It's quite dirty on the inside, so I'm quite grateful to be 3rd, and I hope that I can capitalize on that. See, Charles has a new tire. I don't have a new tire tomorrow. Same with Lando, but nonetheless, I'm P3. I think is not a bad position to start here because you can tow, and so I'll be quite aggressive. I want to move forward somehow tomorrow.
That'd be pretty special to be your first podium for Ferrari, wouldn't it?
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, there you go. That just shows you the level of intent Lewis Hamilton will have tomorrow, but so will the rest of them. 3 Brits inside the top 4, including George Russell alongside him.
4th again, George, even with different 3 ahead of you. Just tell me what the laps were like and whether that was the absolute maximum out of that car today.
My first lap in Q3 was very poor, but my last lap was good. I found half a second. I think Lando and Ferrari were just out of reach. But then the Oscar was in P8 and it was a 10th behind me. So I'm glad to be on that right side of that 10th. And the second row here is not a terrible place to start.
What can you do tomorrow then? Because we've been talking about this long run to the start. Can you get a slipstream and try and get ahead? Do you bide your time? I mean, how do you play it?
I think you just go for the gap if it appears. You can't really make a plan because it's often down to the guy on pole if he wants to stay to the left and get the slipstream to the sort of odd numbered starters, or if he moves to the inside, then the sort of even numbered starters get the benefit. So you're sort of at the mercy of the poleman.
Would you rather be on P1 or P2 if it was you on that front row?
I think P1, to be honest. I think there's always a lot of chat about circuits like here, or when we race at Sochi, like P3 is the best place to start, or P1's the best, P2 is the best place to start. Truth is, pole is always the place you would choose to start. But definitely, this is probably the most challenging place to start for pole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've been saying all week you'd rather start from 2nd.
Yeah, but I think 3rd is even better. Like Lewis was talking about it.
Okay.
2nd, pole is the worst here for some reason. 2nd, the track is very dirty, so normally you have a bad start. And P3 gets all the tow. I think Lewis is in the best position.
It's a tricky one, this. I mean, obviously, it's completely the opposite way from Austin. Austin almost peels back on itself. This one is a 90-degree right after the longest run down to turn one. So, I mean, you see so much action so many times over the years. Where would you prefer to start?
Well, the hardest thing is picking your braking point, because you come in there and you've got this sort of low downforce feeling. It's a little bit like Monza, but you've not quite got the same sort of profile of corner. And so it causes quite a lot of times a lot of drivers to lock up and cause issues. So actually, it's great that we've got sort of a few drivers at the front with nothing to lose in a way, because I think they can go for it. They can take a bit more risk on the brakes down there. If it goes wrong, you can cut across the grass, as we saw Carlos do last year. And yeah, it gives a little bit more opportunity to more drivers down there.
Yeah, but then you also have to think about the hero that's in the middle of the grid that wants to overtake 10 cars in that first corner. There's kind of one every year.
Yeah, there always is. Yeah, okay, let's hear from Ollie Behm. Another great effort from him inside the top 10. He's on a run of form at the moment and hunting for points again.
Ollie, fantastic job. You're going to start from P9 tomorrow. What sort of race car do you have, do you think?
Actually, I'm more excited about the race than I was about qualifying. Yesterday, we showed really strong race pace on the soft. If I compare that to our quali pace, which honestly, up until qualifying, I wasn't really feeling great. I missed FP1 and didn't get many opportunities to put the car on the limit, especially in high speed. So there was a few question marks heading into quali. Actually, the race is, I think, a bit of a better thing for us, because we had great pace yesterday, and I think the setup, the direction that we chose is the correct one for the race.
Where can you target tomorrow? I mean, when you look at those who are around you on the grid, where do you think you can realistically target tomorrow?
I think we can finish in the points for sure. We showed best race pace of the midfield, so if we can keep that up, we can hopefully have an aggressive race and look forward and see what we can do.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks.
How do you assess his growth this year as a driver?
Started strong and then he disappeared. And it looks like that probably put him back in place, and now he's gradually working at it again, getting in a better position.
Honestly, I think he's been really impressive in performance and lap time. It's just little rookie errors that are inevitable in your first year, the kind of red flag infringements and things like that have sort of halted his progress, and I think opportunity to score more points. But I think in terms of one lap speed, super impressive. And I think, I like the kind of mentality that has. He seems to be very level-headed and, one of the many strong rookies we have this year.
In the absence of Checo Perez, a lot of support here, obviously for Fernando Alonso, but for Carlos Sainz as well. He qualified in 7th, but because of the 5-place grid penalty, will start down in 12th. Let's get his thoughts.
Carlos, I guess when you put in a great performance like that in qualifying, it makes the penalty even more frustrating.
No, not really. I mean, it's a shame about tomorrow, but today I'm going to enjoy what it was. I think my best lap of the season till now on the Williams. Enjoying driving this car lately a lot more. I know what to do with the setup, with the tires, with the driving, and it's getting me to a very nice place with everything, and I'm putting everything a lot more together. So very happy. Good lap, and see what we can do tomorrow.
I was going to say, what can you do tomorrow? What did you see from your race pace that leaves you optimistic?
We have the race pace to probably we would start 7th, we would finish 7th. We would be there around where you see I am. The reality is that it's going to be tricky to recover, because it's not like you can push here in dirty air with the cooling of the car. So I will be probably limited with the cooling of the car and see what the car allows me to do to overtake. I'll try my best to get back to the position I'm starting. I would supposed to start, but let's see what the cooling, what the tires let me to do in dirty air.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's obviously a track that he loves, having won here and taken pole position in 2024. But I'd be disappointed that would carry it over that 5-place grid penalty. But compared to his teammate was really struggling today, said no brakes.
It's funny how the trend has changed at Williams. When Carlos joined the team, Albon made a step. He really pushed. He wanted to show that he was the guy that was going to lead that team. And Carlos just took his time, made the car. But now it looks like he's put Albon under pressure. Albon is starting to make mistakes, and Carlos driving better and better every race. It's a shame these carryover penalties that affect the following race, but he seems to understand what to do with the car now.
I agree with that. We've seen some uncharacteristic mistakes from Alex. I mean, just over the weekend, you saw a couple, didn't you?
No, but not just this weekend. I think Baku, Austin, today. It's surprising, because I think where Alex has generally been strong is this lack of mistakes. He's kind of always been able to get the most out of the car, whatever position that ends up being. So he'll be frustrated. I think he is sort of balancing a few issues himself in terms of what he's feeling with the car, that it's a little bit out of his control, but still, I think he'll be frustrated with today.
Quite enjoying this DJ, by the way. Let's get your thoughts on tomorrow whilst he plays us out in the background. What do we think is going to happen?
In the race,
yeah,
we'll have an exciting first corner.
We will.
Because we have two aggressive Ferraris in there that don't want to let Lando disappear in the distance, which is what might happen. And behind, all the guys fighting the championship, they're in the middle of the pack. Which one of them will come out of turn one with his car intact?
Exactly. You've got a rocket ship of Lando Norris at the moment, in theory, in the best position, but then you've got two Ferraris with nothing to lose. Lewis Hamilton chasing his first Grand Prix podium with Ferrari. George Russell, again, not much to lose, and then Max Verstappen, who's absolutely going for it. So, yeah, you've got a bit of an interesting mix, and I think it's going to make for a very exciting race tomorrow.
It's got everything, hasn't it, Smile? It's got everything we could want. And that guy's going to be playing until the end of the race. He's on all night, and we're going to go and enjoy his work. Lando Norris, though, with the pole of the season from his behalf. Really impressive effort. Alongside him on the front row, Charles Leclerc. But as far as the championship is concerned, Max from 5th and Oscar Piastri from 7th.